It would probably help if I had myself here on the screen. I forgot. I hope you have something warm and cuddly to drink tonight. Just want to check. Can you hear me? Just making sure. I was having issues with my system, and so I'll wait a couple of seconds here to make sure that get a confirmation that you can hear me. And then I'm going to quickly go through. Hear you. Okay, you hear me. That's awesome. So, of course, I do want to just start out by, I'll let the little ticker tape go by, to all of our members that are members in the membership family with me. And so thank you all again for being here. We'll talk about what I'm drinking in here. Marissa made me just a very sweet treat with, that's got some medicinal aspects to it. So it's very, very good. But I do want to go through and just say some hellos. And right off the top, we had South Florida Sunshine. Now you're seeing, I'm sure you're seeing in the chat, you're seeing those new, I've added in some new stickers, but they are awesome, super wow, love, laugh out loud, welcome, yay, and some popcorn. Because, every so often we need to bring out some popcorn just for either eating for munchies or when there's something that's a bit controversial and that, I'm always one to go, those two people, they can duke it out, but I'll just sit here and eat the popcorn. So I've got a popcorn emoji to show that out in there. So, and of course, Storm's coming in with Diva. And of course, I say Storms right back to you. More people saying hello. Hello, Robin Gardens. Usually Robin and Carol and Shawnee are my co-hosts, but we have a packed night of information. I know you've experienced this, Shawnee, but I ran out of banners, and so I have no idea. I just, I went, okay, you know what? The rest of the document, I'm just going to bring it up because I can't get everything in there. So we do have a packed night. If, depending on our time and stuff, I will put up the link and you can come up and chat a little bit later, but let me just go through some more people saying hello. Shawnee was keeping track. 3 minutes till showtime. Grab your teas, drinks, waters, and clipboard, Shawnee. No paper, Shawnee. Isn't that what you really should be saying? Because I know you've got a notepad all ready to go. Comfy clothes, you're all ready. And Miss Sharon, welcome in. She is our moderator here with the mostest. And thank you so much for gifting, 5 more people into the memberships. What a darling you are. And I just do want to recognize the Crafty Halo Angel, Tondig, Tony, yeah, I'm going to say it wrong. Tony DG9410, you also received him. Country Hustle 101, Crazy Life Homestead, Mo, you're back in. And Chantel G, thank you so much to Miss Sharon for gifting those memberships out to people. I do really appreciate that. And for those of you that did get a gift of a membership, get a 1 month of being able to be in the Diva Club where I have the members only videos, and also you get to use all those fancy little stickers as well. Let me go through. Oh yeah, keeping track. Shawnee's keeping track, keeping me on. Make sure, here's a note, please make sure you click the word live in the video bar to make sure you're watching in real time. So up at the top, you want to click the one that says live chat. Hello, Serena Norell. Welcome again, part of the Diva Club. And we checked that my sound was good. And let me just keep going. Oh, it's too hot in your house. Yeah, I'm freezing. I'm still from my gig. I did casual at the gig today. So I'm wearing a sweater dress, and but I do have a nice hot chocolate with some extra goodies in it. And oh, welcome, Crazy Life Homestead. I'm hoping I'm not missing people. I do just want to make sure I'm saying our hellos. Oh yeah, and so Mo says thank you. So there we now why am I not clicking? There we go. I think there was a couple that came in. So yes, so Mo, that came from Miss Sharon. What a giving gifter. Yeah. Diva had a casual day and baked bread. Yes, I did. I baked bread first thing this morning, then ran and did a two, or not ran, I drove up and did a 2-hour gig this afternoon, and then got home and continued to set up for this live. And so, yes, tonight's show is an interview with a real life herbalist. She's down in the basement making little faces at me. So I'm sorry if there is anybody that I missed saying hello to and welcome in. Um, you know, I, I'm usually a little bit stressed about doing lives anyway. And then when you're bringing on a real life herbalist who also happens to be your daughter, that also is a, a little bit of a stress for me as well. So yeah, so tonight we are going to have herbalist Merissa from Bloom and Bramble. And a little note that I wanted to read, which unfortunately I wasn't able to put it into my banners. So I am welcoming everyone. I'm glad that you're here. Today we are joined by a special guest, herbalist Merissa from Bloom and Brambles. She's been helping people find healing through plants and natural remedies. And we're going to learn more about her journey, her favorite herbs, and how we can bring herbal wisdom into your own home. So, one other little note, housekeeping. We're not doctors. Mm-mm. And nothing we share here today is meant to be medical advice. We're just here to learn and explore the gifts of plants together. Feel free to post your questions or thoughts in the chat. We'll try to weave in as many as we can. So one of the things that I did want to point out, and I should have put it in the top, I will just do that. Talk amongst yourselves. I know you are talking amongst yourselves anyway. But nope, didn't click it. So what I think I would like to have is, because I think I can put in if you have a question, this was one of my things I needed to do. Please type. Oops, that's not how you spell type, Maureen. In cap locks, I want the word question before your question. I hope that makes sense. You guys are all helping me, except I can't type. You're all watching me type. So I will put that in there, and we will try to get them. And even for what we can do is for later on, if we don't get to your question, Merissa and I, and again for team replay, if you do have a question, we'll be able to go back and look at it and answer your question. I will do my best to answer it. If your question ends up showing up in the regular description area, then we can answer it there. So, that's one thing. So I'm sorry that I'm missing more tea. Oh, so Cece, good to see you, Cece, Texas Garden. Lofa Queen, I should say, amazing. Hello, Tigsy, great to have you here. Ms. J.K. Gardner, welcome, welcome. I think that's where I was at. Yep. Hopefully I haven't missed any of you. It's my focus is going to be now going into the banners and keeping them all here, keeping them all together. Oops, let me just get rid of that comment. And so we have herbalist Merissa from Bloom and Bramble. So I am going to bring her up and add her to the stage. Everybody, please welcome Merissa.
Hello.
Okay, it's Mama's computer. Mama's computer is not yet, because I'm waiting and it's not coming up. Dag nabbit. Okay. Start shutting down things, Maureen. I think you should be coming up because I can hear you.
Okay, good. As long as people can hear me, see me.
There we go.
Is that it?
It was just
okay. It's been a day. Just let everybody know if they can hear and see me because I am using headphones. So
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, they can. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they can see you just fine. I
won't
had
be able
thought
to
about.
see me.
Hmm?
I'm not looking at any comments because I can't see them on my side.
Okay. You in the studio you can't see it. There should be a thing that says hide panel, and it might be that your panel is hidden.
You know what? That was the case.
Yep. So if there is a comment there, I will try to go over into the comments, and I am watching it on my other screen, hoping that I can catch them, that if there is questions. So excellent. So I do want us to meet Merissa. So Merissa, can you share a bit about your journey as an herbalist and what drew you into this path?
Yeah, not a problem. So I've been passionate about plants for a very long time. I've grown up wanting to do things a little bit more naturally whenever I was healing, or allow the air to heal it or anything like that. And when COVID hit, I needed to change my lifestyle, change my career. I was a travel consultant, and that was not going to be happening. And I just started to lean into figuring out what I could do to help myself feel better. And in doing so, I found an herb, used the herb, and then it sent me on a trajectory where it's like, okay, I started researching schools and researching opportunities. Was this a viable job? And then seeing that not only could I do this online and stay in a school and work outside, and work inside and enjoy my life, but I could also do something that would help people. And I've always worked in vocations that help people. So this was an opportunity to expand and change that. And so then I've been deepening my wisdom in Western energetics, TCM, which is traditional Chinese medication or medicine, Ayurvedic, and then looking at learning how to treat the body holistically rather than isolating symptoms.
Right. Exactly. I love that. And you know, and the thing is that while you were going through school, I was the slight guinea pig. You know, I'd be doing dishes and I would hear, "Mom, you'll not believe this." And then she would tell me all these things, and I'd be going, "Oh my gosh, amazing." And one of the things that has always stuck out to me that you have shared with me is that in medicine, they just treat the symptom. They go, "Oh, you know, it's like, I have a sore shoulder. Okay, rub some stuff on it." And you know, okay. But it's like, okay, well, why do I have this sore shoulder? What is the cause? What is something I've done? And you said, and that's kind of what's always stuck with me. It was like, oh, I actually, it's like a Captain Obvious. And it's like, what caused this? So let's go into what caused it. And I love that. Continuing on, what does Bloom and Brambles mean to you?
For me, Bloom is about nourishment. If you think about the spring and how things start to just pop up amongst winter, it's always something that just brings light and life. So that is something I can bring to a lot of people where they perhaps have not realized that they could advocate for themselves or that they could understand their bodies. And so having that light brought, that nourishment brought, that ease of it as well is crucial. Right. And then Brambles, of course, it's about wild resilience. It's about protection. And so I thought, put the two of them together, and it's basically nurturing, healing, and showing us sometimes that the best thing that we can do is slow down and just let them weave in our lives.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Next question. How do you approach healing, especially the idea of treating the whole body and not just the symptom?
Yeah, so that's a big thing, is I pay close attention to subtle details in a person's story, their experience, and then the underlying patterns in the body. So things like energetics and digestion, stress, hormonal balance, and often those like minute details can reveal something that is so insightful. It'll look at the root cause. So my goal is always to understand how someone wants to first explore the natural. So are they wanting to just dive in deep? Are they ready to go, okay, it's going to take us 8 months to figure this out, or do we just need to come alongside and work alongside an allopathic in support? So they're taking something that is given to them by a Western medicine doctor, but they just want to support their system as they're experiencing it. So the main thing for me is teaching, listening, and then helping people understand so that they can advocate for themselves later on.
Right. Yeah. And I think an example of that is like when you've worked with an expectant mother, you know, who had some iron deficiencies. You know, she's getting what she needs, you know, from her doctor, but you're doing things to go, okay, when you're taking this, we also need to make sure that the gut lining is being looked after.
Yeah.
Kind of
exactly.
something like that.
Yeah. So that's when you're kind of co-authoring, working with allopathic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I have a side question, and just for all of you to know, that expectant mother is like, she's a mutual friend of ours. So it wasn't that, you know, that Marissa's like, well, this is what's happening. This is we all are friends together. So which is something I was privy to know more about. But I wanted to ask you, because it's like myself as a voice teacher and as a singer, like when I'm talking to people, I'm just talking, you know, and I'm listening. But if they start asking me questions that are in regards to vocal placement or singing, like there's almost something that switches in the brain, and now you're hearing things differently. You're now assessing and talking to this person very differently. Like I'll start paying attention to where you are putting your sound in your face. Was that you or me?
That was me. Sorry, turning it off.
But it's a reminder to all of us to mute your phones. Those of us that are on camera right now, anybody on camera, please mute your phone. What was that? Anyway, so because when and I can say that I've observed you again when we're at church and there's a group of people and someone comes over and says, "Okay, I have this going on." I watch your body changes and how and you're, you know, and you're kind and you're generous, but it's like I can see you, you know, you're smelling the air differently, you're looking at things differently, and it's really neat to observe that there is, you know, Merissa, who's just, you know, the fun-loving woman, and then there's Merissa, who's, I'm now an herbalist. Like, you know, I see the distinction between you two. So okay, so we're going to talk about, you know, we'll get rid of this first controversial one. It's a little bit everyday herbal living coffee and energy alternatives. Because why is coffee bad, Merissa? Tell us. Or actually, here, let me just, a lot of people start their day with coffee. What are your thoughts on that? And what are some herbal substitutions for steady natural energy? What are your thoughts is really what I want to know, because you tell us.
Okay. I'm purposely not going to look at the comments. So, but for me, coffee is actually one of the most contraindicated, and it's caffeine really, but caffeine is one of the most contraindicated substances that we have. There are books and books and books on why coffee should not work with certain medications, certain food groups, certain supplements that we actually take. It actually removes nutrients from the body because it is a mild diuretic. People become very dependent on it, and then that slows the rest of their systems down, whether it be cardiovascular, their digestion, their central nervous system, everything like that. So I'm someone who's like, I understand the ritual, I understand the need, I understand that life is super stressful and that coffee is something that people live on. But if I had the choice to make a massive life change, it would be to remove coffee completely. And that's decaf and caffeinated. And the reason being is that, especially here in North America, it's twofold: the caffeine and the mold toxicity that we have in our coffee. So unfortunately, everywhere else in the world have very strict rules of what mold content is allowed in their coffee, but North America. So we get the offense of everybody else's coffee that they have decided we're not going to sell. So we're putting mold into our body, toxic chemicals into our body, toxic mold into our body. And for me, I noticed an insane difference when I stopped drinking coffee. And it was because I was getting anxiety. after having a cup of coffee,
Right.
single cup. And
Mhm.
so I'm of the mindset, no, but we can supplement with some more ritualistic kind of things. So a tea in the morning, or something like an adaptogenic hot chocolate, which I personally love. So a lot of things that I would recommend are something like rooibos tea. So it's antioxidant rich. It is very warming. It has a nice earthy tone to it. You can add milk to it, cream to it. You can make it into the latte that you want, whatever way that you want to do it. If you need the bitter, then that's where chicory and dandelion root are probably best.
I do have a question, just to interrupt you there, because I know what you mean by when it says it's warming. Can you tell us what does that warming is not just, oh, I've got a nice cup of warm tea.
Yeah.
What does that warming mean?
So warming means that it actually is diffusing warmth throughout the body. So rooibos does that, where it actually can, if you've got cold fingertips or anything like that, throwing some ginger, rooibos, turmeric is another one. All of those ones will diffuse throughout the body. So especially in the cold time that we have right now, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, because it's not all, it's summer in New Zealand. So
well, and it's summer in Florida.
summer in Florida.
It's spring in Florida right now. She's just getting ready. Her spring plants, Carol is.
Yeah, exactly. So, so warming is that. But back to if we're looking at herbs that we can drink in the morning. So chicory and dandelion, as you guys can see there. So those are your bitters, and you can roast them yourself or get them roasted. And those ones will support your digestion. Metabolic stimulation, which a lot of people use coffee as that way of getting the bowels moving. This would follow suit, which is really great. If you do need a caffeine opportunity, yerba mate would be good, because the stimulation from yerba mate is quite balanced. It doesn't tend to skyrocket and then have you crashing. It actually can kind of keep you on an even plane. And like I said before, adaptogens. I love adaptogens. So I love a hot chocolate. Throw some ashwagandha in there, cordyceps, lion's mane for the brain, and those will help with energy, focus, and then mental clarity. And then one that a lot of people use will be like golden milk, which is the turmeric, ginger, and spices. So again, warming, anti-inflammatory, and gentle energy. The main thing is that you want to be rotating these drinks. You want to have the bitter, you want to have the warming, you want to hydrate, you want the minerality. And that's actually what's going to help you not to be tired by addressing all of those symptoms. So yeah, coffee is a no, but I'm sorry.
But you do have a cup of coffee once in a while. Like there have been some times.
Yes,
so I do want to just to talk about what is it that like, I'm not drinking exactly the same as you, but what are you drinking?
I am drinking hot chocolate.
These are not, like, they're not okay, go ahead, sorry.
It's okay. I'm drinking hot chocolate with some cayenne pepper, some Himalayan pink salt, and then some cinnamon.
Very, very delicious. So mine is not quite the same. I'm not a big cinnamon, like our particular cinnamon is not the best. So I just said no cinnamon in mine, but mine's got that nice bit of cayenne. And so, yeah, is a hot chocolate good for us? Not necessarily if we were using cacao and when you've made it homemade, there's a difference there. But adding in these other things, we're adding in better spices. Are you reading the chat?
Yeah, I did. And Storms wants to have fisticuffs.
Storms, if you need to sweet talk this girl here, because where I go, she goes with me. So you actually want to be real super nice. Anyway, I'm going to go to emotional and stress support.
Mm.
That's another big one for many of us. So many of us deal with anxiety, stress, and fatigue. Put your hand up if that's you. I should have had a hand sticker. Can herbs help calm the nervous system and support balance during stressful times?
Absolutely. And it can
Mhm.
be acute, it can be chronic. In my own life and in my siblings' lives, those who are using herbs, we've noticed a drastic change in our lives, even just using a singular herb to help with anxiety and stress. I think we have enough time, but I can share my story of ashwagandha being the thing for me. So I was dealing with constant panic attacks with the thought of having to go to work at my job, crying, not wanting to eat, and I needed to sit underneath two 30-pound weighted blankets in order to feel any sort of security other than laying on my mother's bedroom floor to feel like I was sane. And I was struggling because this is not who I am as a person. I'm a warrior, but I'm not someone who operates in anxiety or anything like that. And it was just crashing and crashing. So I started to research and I found ashwagandha. I took 2 pills the first day and I was like, all right, well, it's probably going to take me like 6 months to dig myself out of this hole with ashwagandha. And so I started to take, I took it the next day, took it the third day. Took it the first 2 days. On the third day, I'm sitting at the table and I could feel this monster of anxiety creep up my back, realizing I had not taken the ashwagandha. And it was like fingertips coming around. And I remember sitting there with you and Josiah and going, I'm about to be anxious. Like I'm about to actually, I can't do this. And I started to actually panic, going, what's going on? Popped 2 of the ashwagandha pills. And no word of a lie, 15 minutes later, I was completely serene and calm. So I tested it out a couple of other times where I would kind of like pull back and not take the ashwagandha. And I would notice that monster kept coming and trying to grab me and pull me back into the anxiety. So I found that ashwagandha literally stopped my panic attacks, stopped the anxiety attacks, and I could breathe. So there are many different herbs that are called adaptogens. They allow your body in different ways to adapt or have different goalposts for the stress that you're under, whether it be a metabolic stress, oxidative stress, or just fatigue in the body and whatnot. So it depends on what you're going through, but they could be as simple as chamomile and lemon balm, holy basil, ashwagandha, schizanderberry, eleuthero root. Like there's an exhaustive list. And if you're not someone who likes to have herbs, there are mushrooms that are also adaptogenic. And basically their main goal, again, is to calm the nervous system, support adrenal health, improve resilience. And they work best alongside if you change your lifestyle. So learning how to breathe and different things like that. So
that does, and all of that does make really good sense. And the thing is that as you go, okay, I've changed my diet or whatever, and you're taking these herbs, but because I did ask your brother, because her brother is a lion's mane. He cannot live with lion's mane. And I said, I asked him, I said, so do you think you'll ever stop it? And he said, no, this is a lifelong thing for me. And I realized that because you're still in an oxidated, stressful world. We're walking out, we're breathing this air, we're drinking water. And so that is always, depleting. So it's like always bringing in that balancing. And for him, the lion's mane, he goes, I think clear. As soon as I stop, it's like I have a hard time, keeping focus, and sort of staying on track. He just goes, nope. So it's like he goes, as soon as I see him getting down, to the end of my bottle, I, get them again, And of course, the big word on the street is cortisol. Everybody's got cortisol because you look at our little bellies, right?
Yeah.
It gets talked a lot about. So what's that stress hormone? What are some herbs that might help regulate or support it naturally?
Yeah, those ones again are going to be the adaptogens. They're a little bit more punchy. So your ashwagandha, rhodiola, eleuthero, holy basil, and reishi. These ones modulate. So we'll get to that word a little bit later, but they will modulate different areas of your body and allow your body to actually, again, have a better goalpost of what you can handle, allowing your body to get rid of the cortisol. And then, of course, sleep, digestion, blood sugar support, and everything like that. Getting that stable is crucial as well.
Yeah. So here's the, brings us right into sleep and brain fog gut connection. So the question, my own experience, when the gut is out of balance, everything else feels off, even the brain. What are some of your go-to herbs or foods that help restore the gut microbiome and clear the brain fog?
So one of the things that we need to be educated on is our gut and our brain. And when we're formed in the womb, the cells are like this, your gut and your brain are like this, and then they start to separate, and then they do this. So you've got your gut and your brain, or you've got your brain and your gut. But because they're so interchangeable, we need to make sure that we're taking care of both of them. And oftentimes, our gut is directly affecting what's going on inside of our brain. Yeah. So for me, I'm all about working on the gut microbiome, working on the bacteria in there, and then working with specific herbs. So for a probiotic, fermented foods are what are required. This puts the good bacteria back into your body. Sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir. If you want to feed that good bacteria, you need to have products that are prebiotic and have inulin in them. And so that's your garlic and onion, leeks, and dandelion root. Beyond that, you want to have some demulcent herbs. So if you've got a fiery esophagus and you have problems with getting acid reflux all the time, you want to soothe that gut lining. So that's where slippery elm, marshmallow root, and licorice are going to be great. And then to improve your digestion and your metabolic rate inside of your body, you want to use bitter herbs. And bitter is for digestion. I did see someone asking about bitter. And so bitter will help with secretion of specific things to help us break down food in the body. So it's helpful for your liver, your gallbladder, if you do or do not have one, your pancreas, your kidney, and then, of course, your intestinal tract. And then just overall, will help to absorb more of the nutrients in your food if you have the rest of everything else lined up. And then when it comes to the brain,
just a moment there. I want to just, sorry to interrupt again. I need to have a little flag or something. So bitter herbs, and that bitterness is, this is about bitter tasting, right?
Yes.
So it is ones that are a little bit more on the bitter side. And again, when I learned that from you, it's like when I have something and you go, I don't like that. It's like, but Maureen, this is good for you. Adding in that bitter herb, adding in that certain spice, this is actually really good for your body.
Yeah.
Right?
And for us on our side of things, when we have bitter, that's to help with the stabilizing blood sugar for us. It also helps with telling your salivary glands, which tells your brain what sort of digestive juices should be inside of your stomach, which is crucial. And then, it helps with basically, again, when it touches the liver and the pancreas and the kidney, then it will allow later on, if you were to take another herb that's for cleansing the blood, like cleavers or like red clover, that then basically moves it into a better state. It alters it so that way you can use those things, which is super great. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right.
And then the brain. So we have talked about adaptogens a lot, and they will keep coming up. This is the greatest season for adaptogens, for rest, digest, and just kind of winterizing and hibernating. But adaptogens are great year round, but this is like definitely the time for them. So my favorite brain herbs, though, are going to be lion's mane, bacoba, ginkgo biloba, and rhodiola. All of them have to do with like mapping in the brain. Some of them are more geared towards memory, and other ones are geared towards calmness in the brain or activity in the brain. And then your final thing, of course, when you're talking about gut and brain, is your lifestyle. I see your hand. 1 second. Lifestyle. So that's going to be your like warm foods, gentle movement, stress reduction, and then adequate hydration, as we put here. What do you want to know? Yeah.
No.
Maureen?
Yeah. We do this because there are so many of us, you know, we'll all put our hand up and we'll there could be only 2 of us in the room and you go, yes, you? Okay. I just wanted to, again, go to the ginkgo because this year has been an absolute, you know, chaotic, stressful year. You've been a part of watching your mother crumble, get back up, crumble, and ongoing. And because of the amount of stress of just like, I could not string a thought together. I had a terrible stutter at times. And I went and, you know, I had some ginkgo biloba in the house, and I'm sure it's extremely expired. I'm not a doctor, play one on YouTube. And I started taking it, and it was like, it has been like night and day. And even your brother said, yeah, I was getting worried about you, Mom, on how you were not functioning. And he said, and it's just to see the night and day of me taking, you know, I take 1 ginkgo every single day and it's like, this is to help my brain, to help the fog, to help keep me focused and moving forward. So
I certainly noticed the change in you as well. Like it was night and day, and it didn't take long for you to show signs of it changing. It wasn't that you had to take it for a couple of months to figure out, okay, it was probably within about a week or so or less. Yeah.
I
Which is
agree.
great.
I agree. So our next one is the herbal healing at home. Oops, not that one. If someone wanted to create a small natural first aid kit for home or for travel, what are some must-haves for herbal remedies?
I have a big one for this. There's a lot.
Like I said, I used up all 50 banners.
So the first one would be skin and wound healing. So a lot of people these days have eczema or eczema. There's some psoriasis, dry skin, cuts and abrasions, especially if you are someone that works in the garden or just works with your hands. So I like calendula for cleansing things on the outside of the skin. So it's really great with eczema or dry patchiness. Plantain for me is for cuts and scrapes. So that's a really great one to pack into things. Comfrey. Again, we play medical doctors on YouTube. But comfrey actually has been known to heal wounds so fast. You need to make sure that they are super clean because of how fast that it can heal. It also can help reset bones and heal bones, which is just absolutely phenomenal. A plant can do that. And then I do love comfrey for the garden as well, because it does put nutrients back into the soil and pulls it up, puts it in. And so when you're eating your food that has been grown in something that has had good comfrey and good compost, you know it's actually nutritional. It's got the nutrient value to it.
Yeah, so pulling out all of the deep, what's the word I want? Minerals, yes, the deep minerals, it pulls them up. So growing things, you know, I put my comfrey beside the pear tree, you know, and that's part of helping heal the pear tree as well. So and of course yarrow and lavender.
Yarrow. So yarrow can arrest bleeding. So if you're have a large cut or anything like that, grabbing some of the yarrow flowers specifically, chewing them up, and putting that as a poultice onto the body helps. If you're out in the wild, if you're at home and you have dried, rehydrating, and the same can apply. And then lavender is, again, really calming for the skin. So great for those with hormonal acne. Great for hormonal acne. We'll stop there.
So pain and inflammation.
Yes. because this is always happening. Arnica! So arnica, of course, topically is a great pain reliever. Ginger and turmeric, although they are diffusers in the body, on the outside of the body, they do an excellent job of working on pain and inflammation, and then internally as well. And the same thing as peppermint.
Right.
These
So
ones
in and out.
In and out. You got it. Arnica is only out.
Yeah. Yes. And in there, I would also throw in cayenne.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That would be great for inflammation.
Yeah.
And actually, yeah, and on exterior too. Digestive support, you've got your ginger, chamomile, fennel, and slippery elm. So chamomile, we traditionally think of it as a calming tea before bed, but actually it's great for after meals digestion, especially if you're someone who doesn't enjoy fennel or licorice and that licorice taste. And then slippery elm is always great for the gut lining. So if you have severe acid reflux or you're dealing with a stomach bug and you want to clear yourself out afterwards, that's a great one. And then we'll move on to immune support. And that's echinacea, elderberry, garlic, and thyme.
Elderberry! Elderberry!
And elderberry, super duper great. I love elderberry. It's immune stimulating. So it's great for acute issues that are going on. So if you're getting a cold, that is the time to use elderberry. Echinacea is immune modulating, and we'll go through that in a little bit. And that one is great to take at all times to help support your immune system. And then garlic and thyme, which are antimicrobial and slightly astringent, and then can work through, and antibacterial too.
Yeah. And I do want to, I do want to share the story of the elderberry because I was very sick, and I was doing a little Christmas tour. This is a couple of years ago. And so Marissa had made some elderberry syrup, and, and it was really strong, but I can honestly say when I would, just take a little sip and I would just kind of let it roll down my throat, I could instantly feel I could feel a difference in a healing, right? And so on this little tour, I said, okay, let's fill me up a water bottle and I'll just add some water in it. Well, I'm in the back of the truck because I let the gents drive my vehicle. It's like I'll just sit in the back and I'm cold, but I'm sipping this and almost like it's like oh, I need some more. It was so soothing, and it was like again and again and again. And I explained that to her, and she's like, oh. And then I don't know, a few months ago, she was not feeling well, something in the throat. She makes herself some, and she goes, I see why you said you just you take a sip and you're like, okay, I just look away. And it was like, I've never had anything where you actually felt the healing properties, and granted, it's because it's herbal. We have to go with it a little longer, a little bit more, and not a one and done. It's not a 12-hour fix. This is actually bringing in that healing and support. Let's move on. Respiratory.
Respiratory. So that is going to be peppermint, eucalyptus, licorice, and mullein. So your peppermint, of course, can be drank, and that does help your lungs. Eucalyptus can be done with steam inhalation. Licorice is actually really great for asthma. It's great for COPD. It's great for excessive mucus in the lungs. So during a cold, licorice is really great to help move that. And mullein, which is one of my absolute favorites, although it has tiny little hairs to it. I was able to work with someone who had COPD, and we got her from 8 puffers down to 2 puffers in the course of 2 weeks of her on this single tea. And now she does not do a single puffer at all whatsoever. So no steroidal inhalation, just with using mullein and a couple of herbs to remove the excessive mucus that was sitting on the bottom of her lungs.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And then to continue on with the first aid side of things for bites and irritation, where you get to use some of those herbs over again, which is why I've chosen these ones. So that way they have a dual action. So you've got your plantain, lavender, chamomile, and then calendula or neem. I do like neem oil for the physical things, but I also like it for getting rid of gnats and plants. And then emergency items, always, always, always have honey around. It is so good. You have honey and garlic, honey and onion, honey on its own, honey and salt, honey in your tea. Like, just keep the honey on hand. And if you can buy local, raw, or unpasteurized, any of those things, it's going to be better for you. Activated charcoal definitely does help with stomach bugs, diarrhea, or anything like that. Electrolytes to have on hand if you aren't doing a plant-based electrolyte for minerality, then having some sort of salt base. And then your basic bandages is always required. So those are for your poultices and things like that.
Right. So give us a quick electrolyte tea that is a really a great electrolyte drink for you you helped me survive this summer many times because of this electrolyte drink.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was just going to say nettles, but no. Haymaker's Punch or Switchel was what we used this summer for electrolytes. And you have your apple cider vinegar, lemon, blackstrap molasses, and then a ginger added to that, and some salt and water. We did note that anybody who tried it who did not have a gallbladder, the lemon and the apple cider vinegar were a bit too punchy and strong. So I did have to add honey to it to balance all the flavors. So you are having the honey and the blackstrap molasses. But it stopped headaches for me. It stopped heat exhaustion. When we went out to the farm and it was like 30, 35, which is what for the Americans?
That's in the 90s.
Okay. When it was 90 dry and we have to be outside for hours, that drink came in so handy. Oh, so handy. But again, we did tailor it because I'm sharing, you don't have a gallbladder. And so to make sure that you could drink it and enjoy it, we ended up adding honey and changing it.
Yeah, because I can still have those things. It's just that my lack of gallbladder makes it where it's like it's a little too acidic. So, of course, and tinctures, teas, powders, and salves in small containers are great for portability. Have I messed up my...
No.
Oh, yeah.
That was just
Herbal healing at home.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm also just going to go and say, if you are enjoying our time together, I'd love for you to subscribe and even join as a member. It helps me keep sharing these stories and the beauty of growing and healing one season at a time. So we're going to go look at fall and winter wellness, since that's where many of us are. Many of us are in the fall and winter. So as we head into the colder months, what are your fall and winter must-haves for keeping the family healthy and strong? Elderberry juice. Whoops.
Yeah. So I love working with the seasons personally myself. So for me, fall and winter is a time of rest. It's like that hunkering down, being intentional, and think of it like your garden. After you finish the harvest, what do you need to do to prep it for spring? But a lot of it is just adding nutrients to the soil, allowing the rain to come. You're not stirring things up. You're just kind of just enjoying the life. So we do want to have immune supporting herbs. And so I listed there elderberry, astragalus, echinacea, garlic, and some warming spices. And so this is where we're going to talk a little bit about the immune stimulating, immune modulating, and immune tonic. Do you happen to have that PDF? Yes or no?
I'm going to say yes.
Hey.
That's not the one we want. We want this one.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So we've always been taught, take echinacea when you have a cold because it helps your immune system. And that's kind of where it stops. But we need to actually have an understanding of what we can actually do with our immune system. So there is a way for us to stimulate, to modulate, and to tonify or have a tonic. So your immune stimulating herbs boost the immune response. So this is for short-term infections. That's the echinacea. This is also going to be the elderberry in this one. And I would say eleuthero root as well. Then we have our immune modulating. These are the ones that balance the immune system. So this is for chronic things. So if you notice that you're someone who gets sick a lot, definitely take something like this to boost your system. Or if you have kids in daycare, or if you have kids in schools, or if you have kids at home that are getting sick all the time, this is a great one to have on hand. So this is reishi, which is a mushroom, astragalus, and then there are other mushroom blends that can support in this way as well. Then your immune tonic is to nourish and strengthen. And so this is daily prevention and recovery at the end. So here's one of my favorites, nettle, and then shatavari and cordyceps. So bottom line is to think of your stimulating is pushing the immune system to action. Modulating is adjusting it to function properly through the day-to-day trials and receiving bacteria from other people. And then the tonic is to nourish and build resilience at the end. So if we go back to our banners, we had talked about elderberry, astragalus, and echinacea. And so you can see the elderberry and echinacea are part of those stimulating ones when you're getting into a cold. And then the astragalus is what is going to be that day-to-day kind of ebb and flow. And then we have the tonic as nettle at the end. So yeah, so that's the first thing when it comes to your cold winter months. You want to be also working on digestive support.
Yeah. Did you want that other chart?
That's later.
Okay.
Let me double check. Oh, yes, it's later.
Oh, I thought it was first for some odd reason. But okay, no problem. I don't know where we are. Fall, winter, wellness.
Digestive
support, ginger, turmeric, and dandelion. Is that where I think? Oh, yeah.
So again, we're just recycling what I've been talking about previously, but that's because the digestive and respiratory, these are all things that are accessible to most North Americans or to most people. And that's what we want to see in herbalism. It's not that we want to have an over-the-counter experience or a prescription experience for a lot of things. We want things to be accessible. So that's why I have been naming off the same herbs and talking about them over and over again. So that way we have that. So your lifestyle, especially during the winter, is definitely to have warm cooked foods, humidifiers, and then herbal steam inhalation if you need it, and then pro and prebiotics. And then below, we actually have a question that we're going to talk about with aronia berries.
There we go. Sorry, I had it backwards.
It's okay.
So yeah, so Frenchie Sandy's, she had a question. She says, what about using frozen aronia berries for tinctures? Is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. But we want to know why we want to use those berries. And so I'm going to teach you guys how I look at things as an herbalist when I'm wanting to use an ingredient. So now you can pull up that PDF.
Okay.
Okay.
I did it right. Add to stage? No. Oh, do I need to remove this one maybe and add this one to the stage? Is this the one I want?
Yes. Good job, Mom.
Okay, so I'm gonna hide us so that we can make it as big as possible for people.
Sounds good. All right. So when it comes to an ingredient, I need to look at what the action is before I decide how I'm going to use that herb in particular, because we're going to need to know if I can use it with alcohol, what it's going to pull out versus apple cider vinegar versus eating it on its own. So aronia berries are also known as choke berries, not choke cherries. They're part of the rose family in particular. And they have a high amount of polyphenols, vitamin C, vitamin K, manganese, iron, and I do believe potassium as well. So these are all really great antioxidants for the brain, the heart, and the whole body. So the first thing that you can see there is that I have it as the action of being antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So this is one of the best berries out there that can scavenge free radicals, but it's little known to do that. Next, we have cardiovascular support. So it can actually help with cholesterol levels, and it can help with blood pressure a little bit. It's not the biggest one for that, but it does have that ability to do so. It also can help with blood sugar modulation. So that's the insulin sensitivity and reduced prostaglandin blood sugar spikes. Some of these words are really hard for me. And then on top of it, it will help with urinary tract support, much like cranberry. It can inhibit bacterial adhesion in the urinary tract. So this is keeping the bacteria from sticking to your bladder wall and then causing infection. It actually is just going to help reduce that. It's astringent. So the tannins will tonify things. So if you have a lot of dampness in your body, if you've heard that term dampness, this will help to tonify and constrict your muscles and allow things to work a little bit better. And then it can work as an immune support. So now that we know what it does, this will give us an idea of what form to do it in. So in an alcohol tincture, that's going to be good for the cardiovascular, for the heart. It's an antioxidant. It's going to help with immune support, and it'll be a daily tonic. Versus if we did it as a powder, then it's just an antioxidant, and it's going to help with the blood sugar regulation and a dietary supplement. Because there isn't the alcohol pulling out the proper polyphenols to work on the cardiovascular side of things. In apple cider vinegar, that turns into a digestive support, daily tonic, gentle astringent. If you were to just have the juice, you're looking at the immune support side of things, the cardiovascular support, and then a dietary antioxidant. And then finally, as a tea, works really great in that regard. And so that's your circulatory system and urinary support. So if you were someone that had a ton of these berries, tincture some of it for the heart, juice some of it for the immune system, and then I would do some of it as a tea for urinary tract, so that you have it in 3 different modalities. And you can use other herbs to work as synergy with it, so to help the heart out even more. Add hawthorn. If you're wanting to really work on the blood sugar, add some cinnamon to it. Urinary tract, everybody loves cranberry. My actual favorite herb for urinary tract is called uva ursi. Really great, and it just is like, it's nice and soft. It's not as punchy sometimes. And then if you want to bring up the vitamin C, that's where you add your rose hips to it instead.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. That was
sorry.
No, it's, it's like us. It's like gardeners. It's like us in the garden. It's like, hi, come over, look at this squash. We love it. And so when you're an herbalist, like, you go, hey, do you know any good herbs? And it's like, do I know any herbs? Let me just welcome to my world, right? It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I do want to go through, I would like to go through this. So I am going to share this one because I just want to share Marissa's top picks, but I have to stop sharing some aspects of things. And now I can add a new one. Share screen. There we go. And I want a window. I want this window. I think I want this window.
David, that herb that we were talking about was the choke berry, also known as aronia berry. So we were talking about how we look at actions and then moving into what we would do with it.
Yep. So here again, so just for a quick through of Marissa's top picks, so you can read those for us, darling, please.
Yes. Okay. So This was the question from Shawnee. If I could grow and I had an unlimited budget, I couldn't. I did technically pick 11 on a technicality, okay, because some of them are just like sisters, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
So nettle, of course, mineral rich. Absolutely love it for blood builder. Raspberry leaf for uterine support, and it's a gentle tonic to have. Calendula and plantain are the ones for the skin. Chamomile is for digestion, and lemon balm is actually for digestion and calming the same way. Marshmallow for respiratory and throat. Before we had cough medicine, marshmallow was for that. Your ginger and your turmeric for the anti-inflammatory, warming, and slightly adaptogenic effects. Ashwagandha and holy basil, because these are two very different types of adaptogens. Depending on the season in the year, I will take more ashwagandha than holy basil, or vice versa. Hibiscus, which is my favorite for cardiovascular systems. It's so good for cholesterol and phenomenal for blood pressure. So it's super high in antioxidants, and it can work in minutes. So that one has to be on there.
So do you want to tell a little bit, short story about, somebody you treated with hibiscus and high blood pressure? You want to tell me?
Yeah, you can go ahead and tell that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you don't know. Go ahead.
So my blood pressure was out of control. And so, Marissa went and, put together a little tea, and I would just have, it was just like maybe a quarter of a cup first thing in the morning. Did I do it throughout the day, or was it just morning time?
In acute times, it was throughout the day, and then as we petered off.
Yeah. And I actually would pour the haymaker into, so I would just have one drink. And then I would many times I was just sipping it through the day. And again, within a very short period of time, it started to regulate my blood pressure. And so as soon as I start seeing any signs of where, too much stress, blood pressure is getting a little high, it's like we go the royal we of us goes and makes a hibiscus tea for one of us.
And what I really like, in all honesty, I was thinking about it today. I feel like had we freaked out, gone to the doctor, they would have checked everything over. And I'm again, not to poo-poo them, because there's a reason why we have doctors, but they could have easily gone, okay, you're going to be on blood pressure medication for the rest of your life. But it was a circumstance that needed to be treated. And so I feel like we took care of the acute and brought you back into balance, where you don't have to be on medication all the time. Yeah. And we know what to do that can knock you out of it within minutes. Yeah. So I like it. And so back to the list, astragalus on there for immune support, like what we were talking about previously. Eleuthero, which is another adaptogen. This one's for stamina, though. So this is Siberian ginseng. And so if you are someone who has severe adrenal burnout and you need stimulation, this is the one for you. I have severe adrenal burnout, but I don't need the stimulation whatsoever. No. So this is another one of those areas when we're talking about herbs, one size does not fit all. Just because I have the same thing as someone else down the block does not mean that I should be taking the same herbs. Exactly. And then the last one is Schizandra berry. And this is, again, another adaptogen, but this one is organ specific. So if you find yourself, when you are stressed, you get problems with your lungs, and then stress in your mind, this one takes care of it. Whereas I was using ashwagandha to talk about it previously, that was a more body thing that I was experiencing, and that's what it was there for. Excellent. Yeah.
Excellent. That's just awesome, Marissa. I think I do want to kind of touch on this next one, but I don't want to, and we are pretty close to being finished, because I was going to just kind of go, this has been pretty darn good. This is a lot of information. I haven't looked at one comment, so I will be will be reviewing all the comments, but I do want to say, hey, Team Replay, thank you for joining us and being part of our herbal chat. And so I do want you to drop your chats or your go-to herbs for wellness below. We love hearing from you. And also, if you go down into the regular chat, and I'm going to encourage those of you that have a question that maybe didn't get answered by somebody else in the chat, if there is something specific, you can go put it down. Go like once the stream is over, go put it into the regular chat. That way, both Marissa and I will see it. What are you doing? Where are you going?
My battery's dying.
Oh yes, because did you not take your cord up? Okay. All right. Well, I can pop you down while I just are you just gonna move around here? Okay. Okay. I might yep. Just yep. Come on down. They don't know, they haven't a clue. Hi, I hear you walking. I hear you're almost here.
Stop.
Nope, I still see you.
Oh, you do?
I do see you. Yep.
Okay.
Wait, I've seen her before. Yes, you have. Yeah, Marissa's computer said she was done. It's basically, Marissa's like, okay, I'm done. Computer's done. We're all done.
The computer said no.
No more. Yeah, I do see you frozen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, Carol. Quickest exit of a guest. Runs away, but on camera. Yeah, it's like, that's my daughter. It is my daughter, and she is now in behind me.
I might need to sit beside you.
Okay, because you can't bring your computer's like, we are so done. We're done, done.
Or you could just ask me questions. Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Oh yeah, you just left. The other thing is you could go on your phone.
Yeah, I will go do it.
Yeah.
I'll return to upstairs.
Okay, so Shawnee does. I have a note of questions when we get to the end of the planned information. Yeah, I do want to run through this last little bit, and I didn't really want us to be going too over, but I will. Yeah, she is very knowledgeable. But so I do want to go over because this was important, was the herbal wisdom for everyday life, and so we are going to be talking a little bit about menstrual support. And yeah, I think we'll do that when we can kind of bypass the gardener's care, and then just working with an herbalist. Those would be the last two questions for us. So
you have the slides for the menstrual tonight.
I do.
Yes.
And I did send you the link.
Yep, I'm just putting it up on my phone.
Yeah, herbalist part 2. So she'll just be there in a moment, or you could even go. Oh, she's back.
Hey, I'm just on my handphone.
There you go. I don't know where the stand is.
No, it's okay. I'll stand in the kitchen.
It's a mess. Jeez.
Look at it. People just take care of it. It's not messy, actually.
Okay, so because I couldn't put these in here, so I am going to throw this up here. So many women look for more natural ways to support their cycle. What herbs or practices do you recommend before or during menstruation? So here is some of her answers that we have. And you can, she's gone again. Oh, and she's entered.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to move myself upstairs because otherwise hearing myself echo just doesn't work.
Well, you could actually go into my bedroom, but.
Oh, okay. Too late. I'm upstairs.
Okay.
Okay. So, cycles. One of the best kept secrets of the herbal world is actually cycles. What I mean by that is it's the most studied, the most understood. We know herbs that work for just about everything when it comes to a woman's cycle, comparatively to that of allopathic medicine. Could you make it a little bit bigger, Mom?
This.
Yes,
Um,
please.
no, that, well, I could try this.
Yay! Okay, so when it comes to premenstrual cycles, so your PMS symptoms, things like Vitex, raspberry leaf, and ashwagandha are really great. Dong Quai is one of the best ones. One second.
I know, you just ran up and down the stairs twice.
I did. So my brain is like, ah. Okay, so I have tried actually all of these when it came to my cycle. And I noticed a massive change when I used raspberry leaf, Vitex, and the Dong Quai.
Mm-hmm.
The Dong Quai is
Whoops.
for regulating your hormones. The raspberry leaf is a uterine tonic that just works so well and stops from hormonal cramping. And the Vitex berry as well helps with things like progesterone and estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in your cycle, that's where it's like focus on warm, as you can clearly see, your ginger, your cinnamon. The raspberry leaf, which is again astringent, will help with the cramping. And then the cramp bark also helps with cramping. And
Mm-hmm.
yarrow will reduce your bleeding that is going on. And then post, that's where we want to be as nutritive as possible. So there's my nettles as usual. Your dandelion and maca and shatavari are also really great for helping your liver and your kidneys at the end, which is something that we don't normally talk about. And then one of the things when it comes to understanding your menstrual cycle is understanding what you need to do to build your blood. And so for me, I do understand in traditional Chinese medicine that they want me to work on like the liver and the kidney, like I said before, but I also like just working at cleansing the blood with some cooling and soothing herbs just a week before ovulation. And so that's where you're using things like raspberry leaf and cleaver and red clover as well. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, I had years ago had used something called
Fema herb.
Herb. That was actually by the school that you go to.
Yeah.
That it was designed by them, and that was like it was such a great. Just one moment here.
Mhm.
It was such a great uh, thing for me to it
Mhm.
made such a difference. Let me just get rid of our.
Mhm.
I want to hide this there, and then we can come back. And I have to bring this up. There we are. Ta-da! We got a pop.
Aha. And if you do need a little bit, oh, sorry, you're done. No, okay. If you do need a little bit more support when it comes to anything with regards to women, I really love this book by Rosemary Gladstar. It's called Herbal Healing for Women. Ta-da!
You want to just hold it up close so that people can grab a
Is it
screenshot of
flipped?
it? It's perfect. No, it was nice
Okay.
and clear.
All right.
Simple home remedies for women of all ages, from menstruation
And
to menopause.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So very, very simple. I absolutely love it. It does address things like teenage acne, morning sickness. It will go through, and I did see someone was asking question about menopause and what herbs can help with the hot flashes. One of my favorites is called Black Cohosh. But yeah, it would be in that book. Otherwise, talking to an herbalist or doing some research is always great. But yeah, I absolutely, one of the things about herbalism that makes me so proud is that there is so much of an understanding for women. Because I know for myself, from my own experience, going in with an ailment to the doctor and being told that if I lost weight, my ear infection would stop, or if I lost weight, that X, Y, and Z would happen that had nothing to do with my physiology, or being told that I am pre-diabetic just by how they looked at me rather than
Yeah.
doing a test of my blood sugar.
Yeah.
I'm not poo-pooing doctors. They're great when you need them,
No.
but to be able to be a woman and actually have my body understood and get an understanding for myself and for others with herbs has been phenomenal for me.
Yes, yes. So what does a first time consultation with an herbalist look like?
For me and for many, because I've gone to a couple of them for myself, it's anywhere between an hour upwards of 2 hours of having a conversation, talking through kind of your history, what you've had for medication, what your current lifestyle is, what your goals are, how are your dreams, how's your stress level, what do you eat. It's getting into the nitty gritty and seeing the spaces between the letters as someone is speaking. And then usually I go away and kind of take about a day to 2 days, depending on what we're working on, to formulate a plan. And then usually it's a 25 to 30 minute post consultation. And I can either build the herbs myself or I can recommend the herbs for the use.
Right. So how do you help someone figure out what herbs or remedies are right for them personally?
Again, it's asking those questions. Like between you and me, I have an understanding you are cold. I run hot. So I need to know that when I'm working with herbs for you, the heated blanket, and I've got my fan on and my window open. Case in point, we are two very different women, but we could be experiencing the same thing.
Yes.
But I would not want to give you cooling and wet herbs. I need to give you drying herbs that have the same action. So I look at the action, I look at the constitution of the person, and then we go from there and decide what we're actually going to do.
Right. So, so just in our closing, Merissa, what is next for you on your herbal journey? Any new projects, teachings, or remedies that you are working on?
Finishing up school, that is the big one. Working on my mother is another one. Um, and then I had made a couple of courses, and I'd like to make a couple of other 1 hour to 2 hour courses for people. I feel like educating is one of the best ways that we can learn about herbalism and
Yes.
make it more accessible.
Yes.
And that's important to me, is that herbs are accessible for people.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. And where can people learn more about you or connect with you? Now, I know we don't have your website up and running yet. So, but where can they connect with you?
Via email. So it's Bloom Brambles with an S at gmail.com.
Very, very good. Thank you so much, Merissa.
Not a problem.
I would like to just say thank you for joining us. And I'm a little bit I'm just uncertain about where I'm going to go from here, but I do want to have my one closing encouragement quote. Because let me just give this. So when we reconnect with plants, we discover the wisdom, strength, and healing that's been within us all along. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, my question was is that, because we're at an hour and 20 minutes, which this is great as a live, especially for Team Replay to watch, because I haven't had a chance to look at the questions, and I just wondered, it's like I should bring up the side
Is there
chat.
a way to search?
Oh yeah. Well, no, actually, one of the things Shawnee said, Maureen, I've got the clipboard with the questions if we're ready to go.
Shawnee.
I told you, she goes, make sure you have your tea and whatever. And it's like, and a clipboard.
I like the Shawnee. I like the Shawnee.
So then my question was, to start a brand new live where I can bring the ladies up on panel. We could just talk for a few minutes and ask some questions. Or if we just, I'm asking you in the chat, do we just continue to go and have, some questions asked here? Or if my co-hosts, if you ladies wanted to come up and also just ask a few questions, and not to, keep Marissa too long. So what would you go? New live or keep the chat going? This is the question. So new live or keep going tonight chat answer. That's pretty much how I said it too. It's like, what is it you want, Maureen? What is it that you want?
What do you want? Tell me.
Yeah. So Mo says new live. So we can say goodnight here, and then I can just quickly post up a new live and go from there. And you guys can easily find us. You know, there's just a nice little handful of us. So I'm hoping my ladies are all available. New live or do part 2 with Marissa with a Q&A. So let's do a 5-minute intermission. Yes, everybody go use the loo and get some more brew, and we will be back. So thank you all so much, and thank you, my darling daughter, for this wonderful information. It was like, a lot of stuff in there. If I was going to watch the replay, I'm going to slow it down just so that I can hear more.
You'll hear all my lisping and my stumbling.
That's fine. Okay. Anyway, good night all, and we will see you in about 5 minutes with a new live.